Welcome back to the Dividend Diplomats YouTube channel, guys. You've got your boys here, Bert the Herd and Lanny, the best dividend investors out here in all of social media, guys. YouTube and X, we're trying to dominate the space here. And you better believe we're at 20K, guys. But we're still filming this actually below 20K, but I'm pretty sure by this video we'll get there.
Yeah,
So we'll have to, we're going to scheme something over the next few weeks, guys. So hang
100,
tight on that.
100%. So now smash that subscribe button. Give this video a thumbs up. Help us get to 21,000 subscribers. Let's keep the momentum going. Let's keep going. Let's keep pushing. Let's keep reaching financial
Push
freedom
it to the
together.
limit.
Push it to the limit. All
Now,
right.
yeah, guys, today's video is all about five stocks I'm watching right now. Five stocks that, hey, are getting close to some buy zones here, guys. That you could probably buy them now, but I'll also kind of chime in with where I really do want to buy them from a price point standpoint. But I figured, hey, these are five dividend growth stocks. All companies here have good yields, have had pretty decent dividend growth rates, and I think have relatively safe dividend payout ratios as well. So I'm very excited while the market is booming up over 26% this year. And if you didn't catch, Tuesday's episode where Bert has some banger stocks from just last week's stock market investing, where one of his stocks is actually was up 67% in 1 week. Check Tuesday's video out, guys.
Yeah, it was wild. So each one of these companies, we're going to run them through our screener, which features those three metrics and the bonus metric, the price earnings ratio less than the S&P 500, that payout ratio less than 60%, that history of increasing dividend, and that bonus metric, the dividend yield. Man, we got five stocks to get through, Lanny. Boy, oh boy, this is going to be a lot of fun today.
Oh, it's going to be a blast, guys. So we're going to hit them hard, hit them fast. These are five stocks I do own that I'd look to add to my position, guys. First stock on the list is Elevance Health. It is Christmas time, guys. The ELV, obviously not ELF, but ELV here, guys. 422.62. Close of day November 8th was the stock price, Bert.
Yeah, are you an elf on the shelf family, Lanny? Because we are not letting that anywhere near our household.
No, we are not. We are
No,
not. Well, we might have to make sure Big L, our toddler, stays
in good.
in good spirits and doesn't do anything bad.
Yeah, let us know in that comment section. Are you an elf on the shelf household? Throw it down there below.
Yep. So we'll dive in here, guys. The last month are actually down 14%, which is why it's on the radar. Both Bert and I, we were actually adding shares, and at one point we should have added when they were at about 405. But they're trading at 422.62, $33 is expected EPS. So their PE ratio is below 13 times right now.
Their dividend, $6, 52 cents. That's a 20% dividend payout ratio.
Nothing, guys.
Nothing.
Been growing dividends for over 12 years at a pretty much a 12% rate, which pairs favorably with the 1.54% dividend yield. Um,
Nice.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I was gonna say nice little cherry on top there with that
Nice
yield.
little cherry, man. But what's the stock price done year to date, 6 months? What are we looking like?
All down, all red for Elevance Health. Their year-to-date price is down 11.74%. Last 6 months down 21.62%. Last month down 14.13%. Market cap is now below 100 billion. It's only at 98 billion. Only, I should say. Terribly small
Only,
company. Very small.
only. Um, it's interesting here. Again, if they hit 415 or below, I'm back. I'm buying.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. I think that's a fair entry point for Elevance Health, just to keep adding a share two at a time, just keep nibbling, keep building up that position while it's in the low 400s.
Exactly, guys. So that is Elevance Health. Again, the metrics will be here on the screen, but let's get into number two, guys. Again, we're trying to get you more details, action packed, faster. We're gonna put the crown on. We're gonna put the Dividend King crown on here, guys. Bert owns 200 plus shares of this dividend growth stock, probably closer to 210 with all the reinvestment. But we're talking about Johnson and Johnson, J&J, guys. Yes. What formerly we used to call it the good old reliable. They're starting to become again kind of good old reliable with where the yield and the dividend growth rate is. But this stock is down in the last month about 3%, and it's down about 3% year to date. And that's why it's kind of back on the radar because of what exact price point are we talking here?
Yeah, their price is 155.47. That EPS is 9.95. That's a 15.63 payout ratio. So we always said it was between 16 to 18. So now it's below 16x. So that's always a great spot for Johnson and Johnson.
Yeah, exactly. When you look at J&J, again, it's got a low PE, low payout ratio, 61 years of dividend growth. Been doing it for, gosh, 61 freaking years, man. I mean, that's just a long time at an average rate of almost 6%.
Yeah,
So with that
great.
payout ratio at 50, I would expect dividend growth to remain at least the same here.
Yes, and their yield is 3.19%. That's above their 5-year average yield of 2.81% by 38 basis points. What have they been doing stock performance wise, Lanny?
Yeah, again, 6 months they're up a little bit, but year to date down about 3%. Last month they're down a little over 3%. I mean, they're 374 billion, and I know there's a lot of concerns right now in the big pharma space about what Robert Kennedy Jr. might be up to try to put some kiboshes on big pharma. Hey, they could speculate. Everybody could speculate all they want. They could punish the stocks all they want. But I think companies are smart as well, and they'll probably figure it out. So look at that as almost an opportunity for investors.
Yes, a lot of things sound great until you have to actually figure out how to put them into practice and you see some of the consequences of what you say you want to do. I'll leave it there for that particular case study, especially with Big Pharma.
Exactly. So that's J&J, guys, a dividend king. But we're going to slide over to what we kind of call now a new good old reliable. Good
Ooh,
old another dividend king with PepsiCo. Pepsi, guys, PEP in the house. Why? Because last month they've dropped again. They're down 5% this month. They're getting down in the 160s, 165.11 for Pepsi right now, Bert.
that's such an interesting point. That earnings per share is 8.15, so it's a PE ratio of 20.26, which is very low for Pepsi from a historical standpoint.
Yeah, yeah. The metrics aren't looking too bad. Again, a 20 PE dividend payout ratio is about 66.5% right now. So a little bit on the higher side, but they've kind of been hanging around there for, I think, a decade, to be honest.
Yeah, that's right. They have been. Their 5-year dividend growth is 6.84%. They've increased it for 52 years. So what's that yield looking like?
Um, well, the yield, that's a part of the reason why it's back on the list here. The yield is back up well over 3% at 3.28%, guys. So it's pretty rare to get it over three and a quarter,
Yes, I
and
think,
we're there right now.
yeah. So obviously they're down 4.5% year to date, down 8% over the last 6 months, down 4.5 over the last month. What would you say is your target price point here for Pepsi?
Gosh, so for Pepsi, again, such a great company. I mean, again, if you're a beginner investor, this could be a great entry point. So, but I don't know, maybe around that 160 mark, give me a couple more dollars off, $5 to $6 lower maybe than where they're at.
You're really not that far out of the range here for Pepsi.
No,
No, it's
no,
very
I'm ready.
close.
I'm
Let's,
ready.
let's do it. Number 4 here. Man, company that just can't get out of their own way. They've gotten that discount double check for accounting scandals in 1 year. We're talking Archer Daniels Midland, ticker symbol ADM. They had the big accounting mishap for the acquired entity back in February. Well, some things continue to bubble its way through. Less confidence in some of the numbers here. They've had to pull some guidance, sent Archer Daniels Midland spiraling. They're now down 28% year to date, dropped 9% over the last month. They are back in the low 50s.
Yeah, I was able to grab a few shares when they dropped into the $50 range last week, bought 3 shares. So
Yeah, I forgot to tell you how many I bought during
you
that.
bought like 30 or something.
No, I bought 10. That's a lot less than that. But yeah, I forgot. I caught that one. I grabbed 10 shares at like 50.45 or
I know
something.
I sent you a text, so
Yeah. Oh yeah. No, because I didn't have a chance to check. You looked, I'm like, all right, yeah, this makes sense. Buy. That's what
boom.
called it.
See, that's what brothers do, guys. You guys help each other out there. If you see something, share it. Let's help everybody make moves
Yeah.
when it looks right.
So
And I mean, I know the question here is, again, they got a low PE. The PE, I mean, they're trading at 52.13. PE is 10. The dividend payout ratio is low as well, below 40%. Even if you want to cut it in half, okay, worst case, they're at 80%. Dividend growth would probably slow. But again, I don't think that's actually the case here.
No, that's why the payout ratio is so freaking important for ADM. So even if their dividend growth slows a little bit, their 5-year average is still 7.15%. They're still about to be dividend king. Last time they had an accounting scandal, they're like, F it, we're still increasing our dividend 10%. So here we are with ADM.
And when you think about ADM, after the scandal, they did a 10% plus dividend increase earlier in Q1 of this year. But they've been doing it. They're going to be a dividend king come 2025. They'll officially hit that like calendar turnover page to be 50 years. 7% is their average growth rate. And Bert, what's that yield looking like right now?
A beautiful 3.84%. That's 123 basis points above their 5-year average yield of 2.61%.
Man, God, I love
Love
you,
you.
Cleveland.
Yeah,
Um,
I love you, Cleve.
So yeah, down 28%, 25 billion market cap company. Looking at them, kind of get back into that $50 zone again. I mean, Bert, you dropped 10 shares, you grabbed over $500 worth. Hopefully I can grab a few more at around 50.
Love
I
it.
pretty much, I think I had like $180 of cash in my investing account. I was like, all right, I can do three.
Yeah, I love it. So far, let's recap the four. Elevance Health, ticker symbol ELV, Johnson& Johnson, J&J, Pepsi, ticker symbol PEP, ADM, or sorry, Arch Daniel Midland, ticker symbol ADM. Who is lucky number 5 on this list here, Lanny?
All right, guys. Again, I always have to bring up big oil. My boys at Shell, SHEL. I know it stung a
Love
lot
it.
of people when they cut their dividend during the pandemic. But let's look at the metrics for Shell. $67.06. Have an 8.23 PE. Bert, what's the payout ratio look like?
33% with that $2.75 annual dividend. So very low payout ratio for an oil company.
Now, they've been increasing their dividend again for 3 straight years. They are climbing out from the hole that they put themselves in when they cut it way, way down into the 30 something cent range. But it's back up close to 70 cents a share per quarter.
Love it.
So they're getting back to that 94 cents. I think their dividend was somewhere in the mid 90s. So they're getting back there.
Yeah, so they have that 3 years of growth. And with that, their yield is now over 4%. Again, it's at 4.10. So it's huge to see them above 4% and with a healthy dividend payout ratio. That's fantastic.
Yeah, last month shock down about almost 3%. Last 6 months down about 10%, but year to date kind of flat, honestly.
All right, Lanny. So what's your price point?
So Shell, not to say I'm a little. I have a lot of Shell. Um, So I need like at least a 5% flash down. So like 63 to
Yeah.
65, somewhere in that little
Yeah.
range.
Again, like the previous four, you're really not that far off. It looks like you're getting ready to deploy some capital here, especially if these 5 companies decide to drop a little more.
So guys, here on my list, stocks to watch, possibly stocks to buy right now. Elevance Health, ELV, Johnson& Johnson, J&J, Pepsi, PEP, Archer Daniels, ADM, and Shell, SHEL. What stocks do you like out of these five, if any? Let us know in those comments and what other stocks you are buying right now.
If you haven't already, subscribe to the channel. Give this video a thumbs up. And Lanny, what else do we have to tell all these fools out there?
Hmm. Let me tell you something, brother. You're either with us or you're against us, Jack. That was Bert the Hurt and Lanny from the Dividend Diplomats. Over and out.